friends, this is Maggie. So this video will be about my brushes and how do I use them, what I'm learning from them. I usually like to YouTube or Google information regarding the brushes so that I can learn new techniques. I mean, you can do a lot of things with them. I do notice that if you're using the same make but in a smaller or thin, you can still do the same thing, but obviously large will be a larger, like a large flower. And then if you're using the small brush that is the same make of it, then you can do a small object. So for instance, I was playing with them, and these here are my large brushes here. So this one here is this is from this brush here, this one here, and this is a, I don't know how to say that, but it's a Dyna, or yeah, Dyna, and it's a number 4. But I have this one, I have the little one which is number 2, and then I don't have another one. Oh, and then I have this one, which is actually the large one, is a number 6. But for the purpose of the video, I use this one because most of the time the cards that I'm going to be using are small. I'm not doing a big. But if you're going for something big, you want to stick to your large brushes, so it helps you, be able to cover more of the area without having to spend a lot of time there. So with my, let's go with this one. So with this brush here, I was able to create this type of painting that when you use your brush like sideways, not directly like that, but when you use it sideways, and it's not, this particular brush will pick up a lot of water, so you have to be careful that in order to get this blank spaces here that is kind of dry, meaning, like, for example, let me show you. I'm just gonna go ahead and, so I'm using the brush to do my mixing here, and as you can see, it really picks up a lot of water. So what you want to do is you want to make sure it's kind of dry. I kind of press it down and let it drip a little bit, and then grab the paint kind of sideways, and then when you come here, I like, for this one I would go like that so that I can get that let's see, I like that way. You see how it leaves those spots empty, and that is awesome when you're wanting to create an ocean or something. See? And then you can come back and darken your colors and create, let me see, you can come back and go directly and just kind of add a darker color. Sorry about that. So you can come back and just add darker colors, different, like different lights of, you may want to go a little bit lighter with the blue, and then just kind of help create that. And you can use the same brush for that. So this is really good for that. Also for this brush, you can also create a tree. So let's go a little dark here. And then for a tree, kind of dab like that. It's kind of neat. I love this because it makes it so easy. And then you add your trunk of the tree and your branches and stuff like that. One of the things is you wanna, if you're doing it flat on the table, you won't have to worry about too much about this. But if you're using, which this is best for your colors to just drop down, is to kind of wipe this out, and all you do is you dry up your brush and you just kind of pick it up, because otherwise it will create a harsh line, which is okay because this is the bottom of the tree, and normally you get a lot of the shadows in the bottom. So let's say I want to go dark like there. You can just add, you know, a little bit of my dark colors here. A little bit on the, and while it's wet, it's gonna run, so you're gonna have, you know, that nice. You want a little bit of yellow to bring a little bit of light. You can just come in here and add that. So that will be the top of a tree. You can also do the trunk. Let's do this. That would be going down like that. You can just kind of put a shade on it. You can really go dark on it. And then just kind of and just kind of just messing around here, but you can use that for that. So this is great. Another thing that I learned that's kind of neat also is you can create this in a larger, it really works well with what is called a dagger brush, and this is a dagger brush. So but when you're using this one, unless you have a large one, you can create this flower here, which is real pretty. Here I used this one, so be mindful that if you're not trying to control the water in this brush, you'll get all this running, which I don't mind it. I really like that. But if you want it more cleaner, you want to make sure that this doesn't have too much water, so just making sure it's clear. Let me see if I can show you. So we're gonna go here, and then there's a trick here. When you're mixing, you can have your color here for this pink, but in order to get this dark color here, the tip of your brush, go ahead and dip it on the paint that you're using, just to get that dark color. And then let me take this out so you guys can see. So you want to start, and you just kind of move it, but try to keep it there so that you can get the light color and the dark in the bottom. And all you have to do is you can go back and dip it on the dark color. You don't have to, because this holds so much water. And then you can do the same thing, and you kind of move it real slow so that you can get the light pink there. And if it's too much, like I said, this holds so much water, you can just wipe it out so it doesn't run. All right, and then you go back again here, and then you go to this side here, and you do the same thing. I didn't give myself enough space here, but you know, you can just run it. And then you just take your little flower, you close it there, and then you go down with your stand, and it'll look something like that. So you see, when it has a lot of water, it creates that. I like it sometimes, or when you want it nice and clean, then you can go and use this one. This is called a dagger, and this size is a 1/4, and it's a Princeton Neptune, and it's a dagger. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing so you can see it, and just create in the water for this. And the tip of it will go straight into that color that you're working on. And then here, let's do it right here. And you just kind of try to stay, like, turn it around, but try to stay, the tip, try to stay in one spot, and just kind of, you know, you can just kind of like move it like that so you can get that color here. It's a very pretty flower. And then you do the same thing here. Grab it there, and then kind of See how pretty? And then we'll do it again. And then should taking a clean page here so that I have the space to work. You can just start right here and just kind of dab it and move it little by little. See how? And there goes your flower. And then you can still use this for the green, you know, the stand. And just, you know, you can, sometimes if you touch it, which is great, when you do that touching of it, it'll just kind of mix and it's really pretty. And there goes. And then if you want to do a flower, you still can use the same a leaf. You can still use the same, you know, you can just do it like that. This is neat because it creates these different shapes. So it's neat to use. You have to practice because this is very soft and it just wiggles all over the place. So you have to practice until you kind of get it. But once you get it, you can create all these beautiful things. Okay. Going back to this brush, this is great to create sky. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit of blue here and use this for the sky. And the good thing about it is because it holds so much water, it creates these puddles which can do a beautiful sky. Let me show you right here. See it right there? You see the cloud. So the way you do that, let's go into a new page here. You can say this is your sky and you want to leave a let's say you want to add a little bit of dark blue just right here, so it just moves around, which is perfect. Let's get rid of this so we don't have a harsh line. That's what happens when it has a lot of water, it creates those harsh lines. And then you can wait for this to dry and then you can come back with this clean with no color and kind of dry, and then just kind of erase the edge so it's more of a cloud. Or you can come here. Another neat way to clean this up is just going like that gently, and then you can come here and look, you can create another cloud here, but it would not be as white when you leave that blank, you know, when you leave it white with the white of the paper. So you can create that there, and then in order for this to pop out, you can just kind of add the dark color, and then you do it like that. And because it's wet, it's just gonna blend right in. Here it goes. You got a sky, a cloud here. Let me see, this one is a little dry, so let's clean it all out, make sure we don't have any water on it, and then you can just kind of make those hard edges disappear a little bit. See? And even leaving a little bit of it, it gives that, see, you can kind of make it disappear like that. It's really fun. I like playing with the brushes to do, then you can come back here and just kind of and you can, oh my goodness, with skies there's so many techniques, but this is some of it how you erase it from already when you already put the paint down and you want to erase it or leave some spot, and then just kind of clean it up a little bit, you know. It's really nice. And then some people would really go intense with their colors and add a little bit of gray just to, and you just keep going and going and going and going. But this is perfect for that. This one and this one. This one is it's called the Zen Royal, and it's a 3/4. Awesome. It holds a lot of water. I know that some people, and I've ordered this and then I learned a little bit about it because this is squirrel hair, but some people don't, and I learned about it, but I just didn't think that what they do with it. But if you don't want to buy those, you can get this one. Princeton has them, and a lot of when you go to the art store, just make sure you're getting something that's like that. That when sometimes it'll stay like that, like sometimes it'll just stay folded like that. It won't snap back, but it's so soft. See, that'll go everywhere. That's what you need for this to do the skies and stuff like that. I mean, it really does work. I mean, you can do it with any brush, but this is nice technique to do that. Let me see what else. So either this one or that one, you can also create those loose flowers like that where you want everything to smear down. So let me show you how I did that. Let's find a good, let's go and get a new page for this. We'll get a new page. Now this is a book that I started using as a sketch, but it has great watercolor pages. It's perfect. It's called Pentalic. I think that's the way you say it, and it's watercolor. I mean, the real watercolor. You're talking about thickness and everything. So I would advise, if you get this book, not to do what I'm doing, because you want to kind of do your artwork and just have it there and have it in such a nice cover. But I ended up doing some other stuff that I decided to use it as a play around book. But I would suggest to use it more to just, you know, finish your artwork and then just move to the next page, like I did, like I use this little one, my little one. You know, I just keep going. It's not really messy stuff like I'm doing right now. You go through pages and stuff like that. Oh, and you see this one, this is the last one I was playing with. You see all this? This is all done with this brush. I believe, actually, I will use this one. But they both work the same, as long as they're soft like that. And look how it, you know, you add a little bit of different colors and you wipe out and you can create that look of a rock. And then this can be a sky or waterfall, whatever you want, you know. But it is really nice to work with these brushes. And then with the dagger, I actually did this one here. See? And this is Tomoe river paper, which is like real wrinkly, and then it gets wrinkled when you put the water on it. So that's kind of nice. Of my most favorite brushes that I purchased recently are these two. There's an artist that has a YouTube channel. Actually, if you look it up, I think you'll find them on the Enjoying Art in the YouTube channel. And all of his artwork, which is extraordinary, is all done with this. This is all he uses. This one for the thin lines, and this one for, you know, as a flat brush to cover big surfaces, for the water, for everything. This, I believe, when I bought this, the paper said that this was goat hair. But one of the things that I like about them, at first I was like, oh, did I buy it? Because I didn't know how to use this brush here. Is that something I'm gonna enjoy? But the more I play with it, the more I realize that it holds the paint so well, and it just flows. For some reason, it flows on your paper. Let me show you what I did with this one when I was playing around. Oh, so you can do, and this was just, I was just throwing colors, but I was actually using this to create that flower there. And then this for the flat surfaces. Now there's some people have a hard time hitting a spot where you just want a solid, nice, clean color. And a lot of times with watercolor you get these spots here and stuff like that. One of the things to how to do that would be you grab your brush. Now, because it's goat hair, it's going to again pick up a lot of water. Look what I mean. You guys can see this. You drip it. Look at all the water. So it does pick up a lot of water. So let's go ahead. And I'm gonna do a. And when you clean your brush, I mean, you know it picks up a lot of water because that water changes color right away. Okay. Alright, let me show you. Now this is to have a nice flat paint where you don't want anything on it. You don't want to see, you just want it nice and flat. So what you do, let's come over here. It's good now at this point to have your paper slanted a little bit so the water can kind of goes down. So this is your spot. And you see how the water stays there? See how it goes down? Now you can come in, make sure everything is nice and flat. And then at this point, what you want to do is you want to kind of dry your, by pressing it down and getting all the water out. Just want to get rid of that so you don't have a harsh line. And this will pick it up actually. And then you got the nice color that is going to look like this. And you're not gonna see all this movement of water in it. Another brush that's really good. Now this is, you have to play with it and know how to use it and stuff like that. I mean, at first it's just gonna be kind of a mess. But if one that's really steady is the synthetic brush, this one, this works well with that technique. And it's better to control. So let's go ahead and, so you do the same thing. See how nice and clean it is? And you can come back. See? This is so much fun. And then again for this one, just try to clean this here, down here. Get rid of that so you don't get that harsh line. There it is. So now 2 brushes that are flat and how you can use them with that technique. Another, oh, this one, I'm sorry, this one I bought. This was through Amazon. This is size 18. This is called, it doesn't have a name, but it was a set of brushes. Actually it does. I think it's, no, it's not this one. I thought it was, but it's kind of like one of those brands like Dynamic Distraction type, you know. It's synthetic hair. It's firm, but it means it's firm, so your hair is snap back. I mean, it's really hard to push it. Like this one will just kind of, but this one is hard to push it. That's the difference between goat hair or something that's real soft than one that's pretty firm. And when most of the brushes, when you use it, is you have better control of your artwork. But when you want this flow of watercolor and you want something different, you really are going to enjoy using this type of brushes. The other thing you can do here is, and I did it here, it's you can use this for lines. Let me see, I did a couple here. You can use this. Yeah, this is, so here is that. See this here? If you don't take it out, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Gotta make sure you get that out. You can use it to create lines. I try the technique where it's sideways, and it really doesn't work. It works better when you have a round. This is called a round, even though it has a point. It's called a round brush. But you can just kind of do those if you know, working with lines and want to create the look of water. You can do that. You can create a mountain. You just go in there and just kind of go like that, and you'll get that. And then you come back and you add colors to create different shades of the mountain. But this is the other thing you can do is the tree. I thought this is nice. I love, this is a different kind of, I've seen it in sketching, in art sketching. And it's that they take, let me go, like for doing a tree, let's just do it here. They're just like kind of dap it here, and it's kind of square, and here you got a tree. You leave some space for the, and then you can come back and just add your dark spot here and there, whatever. You probably can also use it to do the trunk of your tree. And you have it there. You may have a challenge there for doing the branches. It's better to use this type of brush. And even for the, because you can just kind of let's go like that or something. And then let's say you want to add yellow to it to make like highlights. You can just kind of go there, you know. It's kind of neat. I feel like it's such a weird looking kind of art, and I love it. I think it's real cute. So that's what you can do with that brush as well. What else you can do with that brush? So that's basically the stuff that you can do. I'm sure there's more, but that's what I know so far. What else do I have? Then I have, this is another one. This is a round one. This is synthetic, so it's pretty firm. It goes back in there. This is where you can control whatever you're working on, you know, and you want more control of it, and you know, you want to create a circle and know that, you know, it's kind of, and then just kind of for the highlights, take this out, or maybe not, because let's say you want that darker, you just kind of come here. It kind of controlling more. It's more of a like a pencil drawing. I mean, you can use it in that form, but see, so you add water, you can just kind of start cleaning the edges of it. And yeah, you got your circle. So this is kind of neat because with this type of brush, this is a Senk 8, number 8. They're really nice. I really like them. You are really able to control your paint. So and this one is neat. This one I've had this for so long. Create log something. It's really hard, but I'll show you something. Let me show you something. Look what this one can do. This can be a tree. See? I don't know if probably for hair. I have not tried this one for hair. Let me see. I haven't tried this one for hair. I don't know how. Probably, but it basically breaks the lines. So you have that. Wherever project you're working on, if you want to do that, you can use that one. Then there's this one here that I have not been using, but then I said, wait, but there are times I work with certain flowers, and they are round, and this is perfect because you can, and not only that, but check this out. Let's say if you wanna create something that's, look at that, even for a tree, it's just perfect. It's perfect. One of the things that let me do a flower. Check this one out for a flower. For flower, see how You get that there? You can just lift it up there. Because it doesn't, it's a round one, it'll give you that round here. See? But it won't give you that little, you won't be able to, unless you twist it. Let me see. Unless you twist. No, that doesn't, a little bit. But you can get a nice little flower here. And you don't have to work so hard and working. And then you just dark in the middle. I don't know. Just cleaning up. I don't want to have the solid lines, but this is basically. So for this one, what I would do is I'll come back again and then work in, you know, especially for this one, it's dripping, so we'll make it nice and straight. You can just come back here, and then we can create highlights again. This is what I like about this one. You clean your brush and you can just create those highlights. Look at that. It cleans up the spot. What I wanted to show you is, let's say you want that darkness around. To sit it flat though, you get that. And then once it's dry, you know, you come back, you fix it more. And then once it's dry, you can make, you know, define it a little bit more and make those lines, but you have to wait until it's dry. So that's what I'm finding that this one is good for. I did play with it, and I did another, let's see if I can find it. I was playing with it, and I did this here. Let me see if you don't have those flowers. I should know the name. Can't think of it right now. They like purple. See, I'm trying to. And you can just kind of, they're shaped like this, and they're like little here and there. Either you see them, you know, like if you want them defined, and then you can wait. You know, and wait till it's dry, and then you come back again, and then you can use this as a background, and then use the watercolor coming back to do the flowers. This is still wet, but I can do it with the thin, you know, with a thin brush, and then really show a couple of flowers here and there, and then the background will be the flowers that are in the back. So, but it's pretty good to do those little batches of color. So I like that too. What else? And then another thing that you can do with either the big brush or the small brush is to create leaves. So to create leaves, let me get, let's see which one I have. Let's do this one first. So to create leaves, now this is the one that holds a lot of water, so you have to be very careful. You start with the tip, and then you can just go like that, and then lift up, and there you go. And you have it there. But it has a lot of water. Now look at the difference between that one that holds a lot of water and a synthetic one. This is a synthetic one, which means it's hard and it goes back to its place. Now here we're using what is called the round. This one is a size 6. Now in every brand, the size 6 doesn't mean that every brand you're gonna get this size 6. They're gonna differentiate. So I say 6, that's the size. When you're there buying it, you know what you're looking for. But look how nice and clean. And you can actually control it. See? Let me show it again. Control it again. Press down, lift up. Boop. Let me add a little bit more color. Press down, lift up. There it goes. Some people would do this. They would do this, lift up, and then they'll come back again. And they'll come right here and leave space in the middle, and then they're just... So this is great for that. This is actually great to create flowers again. Like, you know, if you're gonna do a rose, you know, let me do it right here. It's a better control of it than using the ones with a lot of water. And what I do usually is I dab something in the middle, and then I try to do lines and separate them a little bit, and then I add a little bit of water, and then just kind of, you know, kind of go around it. I'm doing this one, holding a book, so I'm not doing a good job here, but just to give you an idea. And then you add some color in the bottom, because there's still, ball is wet, it's gonna just kind of run. And then, it's much easier, it's faster to use this because you don't have to fight with the water. And then you got your anyway, let's do a leaf. Now I don't want to do this one here. I'm gonna actually go and use my, it's too big. I'm gonna use this one. And I gotta be careful again because this one holds a lot of water, so I don't want to have too much water for this leaf. I'm trying to keep it more of a, and then I can just kind of, you know, right there. This is one of those cheap paints, and you can see it's bringing just pressing down, and you can have, once this flower dries, you can come back and use a thin one like this one. See, it's synthetic is one of those firm ones, and come back and then just work on the lines, define some lines around the flower. What do they look like? Something like that. And if it's too defined and you just want to make it more watery, just add water on the side of it. Oh, and that reminds me too that let's use this one again for the loose, this one that I did here. Let me make sure that I went through all of my brushes. I think I did. I covered all of them. Let me see. You see, this was using that big one. I can come back and add more to it, but you make a bigger flower when you use a bigger brush. Right here. So to create that, let's go back here. So you have to be careful when you finish, just kind of keep an eye on it, because see how the water is doing the harsh line? You don't want that to happen. Just make sure you clean that bottom out. Otherwise you end up with that, unless you're meant to getting that. Because some people are wanting to have that, some people don't want to have that. But let's do this one right here. So this one here, we're going to use the big brush, and we're going to mix these two colors. Okay. And then now I'm going to make sure mine is, because I want to start nice and dark to get the center of it, and then really lighten up as I go outside. So I just took all the water out, just a little bit on the tip, to So start right here, and then I'll do the you know, the little things I do around. And then what happens at this point when you're doing this, let's say these are your outside petals for your flower, and then in order to make them, you just come back here and you just make them go away. And then you can just kind of splash some water on them. Maybe for this one we need to just have it more flat. And then what we do is we come back once it's dry, just kind of make sure your center, you can see the flower in the center, so you kind of come back again and you just come back and work on your lines in the middle. If it's still wet, you see how it still runs, and that's the look of it. So this is fun. I love working with that one. So this is a quick overall of all of my brushes and how I use them and what I'm learning from them. And I'm sure there's much more you can do with them and more techniques. But I hope you guys enjoy this and play with your brushes and see what you come out with. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.